Hi y'all, welcome to episode number 2 of my Flosstube channel. I'm Megan, so if you are a subscriber, awesome, thank you. Welcome back, and if you're new, I hope you enjoy. So if you watched my last Flosstube, you know that I have been cross-stitching little woodland animals for my sister's baby shower, which is next weekend. So I finished another one. I have 2 done. And I was really hoping to have this 3rd one done. So all the patterns came in a bundle from the Stitch Patterns on Etsy. And I think there were 8 little baby woodland animals. So the one I'm working on right now is this little guy. And I thought I would have him done, but he has a lot more color changes than the other 2 that I did, so it's taken me quite a bit longer to finish, but I will be finished before the shower. So here is where I am at. And in the middle right here, there is one row that's halfway done. I ran out of thread, so I have to go back and do that. But I had pharmacology today online, so I listened and cross-stitched, so I got this part and most of the eye is done today, so that was a productive class. And then let's see. Oh, I do have the other 2 baby animals. I told them. So I remember the deer was first. And he's very narrow compared to the other 2 that I did. And then the raccoon was second. And then we have the bear. There was an owl I really wanted to do, but there was a lot of very, very light colors in the owl, and I thought it'd be hard for me to see. So I went the opposite way. I went with the dark. I'm doing this real last minute because in about, what time is it? 5 hours, I'm going to be on a plane with my 17-month-old by myself, flying to Louisiana for my sister's baby shower to host it and to visit with family for a week. And I am super, super nervous. I have flown with her before, and that was pre-COVID, and she was only 3 months. So I'm pretty sure I baby wore her the whole time. I just had her in a sling, and she slept like the entire time. I tried to give her a bottle. She was sleeping. She didn't have any of it. Her ears didn't bother her. She didn't wake up. So I'm really hoping for the same thing this time. But now my daughter is mobile and she walks, and I intentionally scheduled this flight at 6 p.m. because 6:30 is bedtime. So I'm really hoping that she just sleeps, but I have a layover, or I have to change planes. It's not really a layover. And this time I bought her a seat because it's just a lot safer that way, and we needed a car seat anyway, so instead of me having to buy one or my parents having to buy one, I'm just going to go ahead and bring down our car seat. And so she's going to be in the car seat, and I'm going to have to take her out of the car seat, put the car seat on the plane seat, strap it in, put her back in the car seat, strap her in, get myself situated, then take her out. I'm going to bring my baby carrier, so put her in the baby carrier, undo the car seat, hook it up to this little wheelie trailer thing that I bought, wheel it to the next plane, get it situated on the next plane, stick her in it, get her situated, sit down. So if she is asleep in the first flight, there's no way she's not going to wake up between all that. So hopefully she goes to sleep during the second flight, because we get in to New Orleans at what would be 10:30 p.m. our time. And if she's been awake, just pray for me. This video is going to come out after the plane flight, but I do have to fly back, so just keep us in your prayers, because I have been thinking about it nonstop, and I'm so anxious about it because nobody wants to be the person on the plane with the fussy baby, and if she's fussing, I don't know what to do. And of course, today she wakes up just a snot rocket. So there's congestion, which is not going to help with the ears. So we'll see. I'll keep you updated on my next video. I'll let you know how that goes. But okay, so I am, if you remember, or if you watched my last Flosstube video, I am in nursing school, and so we are on a one income budget right now. So I don't, I have one tiny bit of haul. I am a quilter, so I have a huge stash of fabric, and it's almost, well, huge for me. Probably really small compared to other quilters, but it's almost to the point where it's becoming overwhelming and I can't use it up fast enough, and I keep buying. So my goal, since I'm pretty new to cross stitch, is to just buy floss and buy fabric and buy charts as I go. So if I want to start something new, I buy the chart, then the fabric, and the floss, and not just pull from stash. So all that to say, I do have a tiny bit of haul. I've seen a lot of people mention you stitch in hand, which I do, at least as of now. And sometimes you have a bunch of fabric and you have to bundle it up and your hand gets tired or crampy, or you're just tired holding it. And there's these little magnetic clips that people are buying. Well, I found these at Target for $3 and the dollar spot. Obviously they're still in the packaging because I wanted to show it to you in case you were interested in purchasing what they looked like. But I haven't tried them yet. But you know what? Worst comes to worst, they were $3 and they don't work for fabric, but I'll use them for the intended purposes for cords. So yeah, if you're on a budget or you just want to try them before you buy the expensive kind, or you invest in more, maybe go to your local Target and see if they have these. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have bought a pack for a giveaway. Oh well. Okay, so while I'm in New Orleans, when my daughter naps and when she's going to bed at night, I have 2 opportunities a day to do some cross stitch. So I have 3 things planned for those times. And I've shown 2 of them before, but one of them is new. Okay, so the first one I want to get done, this is the one I showed you before, is the Mill Hill Buttons and Beads Winter Wonderland. I have done, I believe, all of the actual stitching, and I am in the process of attaching the beads. And it comes with an adorable little bunny button. But let's see. Here is where I'm at with that. And I know you can kind of see some of the beads here in the tree and over here. It's super fun to run your hand along. I'm sure that's bad because it probably just transfers the dirt and oil from your hands, but oh well, I don't do it often. Okay, the second thing I plan on doing, which is also something I showed you last time, is working on my daughter's Christmas stocking. I have 2 goals this year, crafting related, since I am in nursing school and have a limited amount of time. One of them is to finish this this cross-stitched Christmas stocking for my daughter. And the other one is quilting related, so I'll talk about that later in the video when I get to the quilting part. So this is Dimensions Gold Kit. It is called Secret Santa Stocking. And I love the classic look of it. I feel like even when she's 18 or 30 and she's got her own house, this will never really go out of style or look outdated. Right now I'm working on tiny start on the beard, on his beard. I have a feeling that once I finish this, I'm never going to want to look at white floss again in my life. And I have not done any made any progress on this since I showed it last time, but in case you didn't see my video, here is where I'm at. Oh, it's so tiny, it's hard to get in the frame. So there's that. My sister is working on a cross-stitch Christmas stocking for her son, the one that I'm having the baby shower for. He's not even here yet, and she is putting me to shame. She's probably, I don't know, a quarter of the way, a fifth of the way through, his stocking. So that's amazing, and that's a lot of motivation to get my button gear. Well, plus, number one, she doesn't have a baby yet, so she doesn't take care of a baby. So she has more free time, but she also lives in North Louisiana, and you know, Texas had the big snowstorm. Well, North Louisiana had the big snowstorm too, so she was out of power for a couple of days. So, you know, no TV, no internet, so there was a lot of free time there, no working. And then she got power back, but didn't have internet, so still no working. And no TV because I believe they have like subscriptions, so lots of free time there. And I'll link my sister's Instagram below because she posts a lot there. She does gardening, quilting, and cross stitching. And then my third project, or potential project, is Hands-on Design Scary Apothecary. So this was actually a Christmas gift, I believe from my grandmother, and I made it pretty clear that if anyone wanted to buy me something that was part of a series for cross stitch, that I wanted the entire series, because how bad would it be if it's an 8-part series and you go to make it and you did 6 of them and you want to buy the last 2 and they're on eBay for like $50 each because they're out of print. So I got all of the Scary Apothecary designs for Christmas. I'm super, super excited. And I've seen AJ Stitch on Flosstube. She's working on them, and she's done quite a few. So I'm really excited. I'll go ahead and show you all the different designs. I'm sure you've seen them around. I love a lot of Kathy Haberman's designs. So there's Snail Slime, Spider Legs, Cauldron Cleaner, Coffin Paint, Cackle Lozenges, Broomstick Fuel, Bitter Brew, Bat Balm, and Skeleton Polish. So, and then I also, my grandmother gave me most of the fancy flosses for the charts. There were a couple that were not in stock at the time, but I've since purchased them. So there's, oh, let me get my white paper. They're all classic colorworks. Pumpkin Harvest, Frog Legs, River Rocks, Shamrock, and I am missing Zach Black because it wasn't in stock. I checked quite a few times and it wasn't in stock. So I don't know what I'll do there. I'll probably just sub it out for some other kind of fancy floss. And then there's a purple in here. Sugared Violets that I swear I bought, but it's not in my bag. So I'm going to have to look for that. And then I am doing it on 32 count Silvery Moon Lugana. And I purchased that through 123 Stitch as well, along with the floss. I like it. It's a very, if you're just holding it up by yourself, it could almost pass for white, but the minute you put it next to a white paper or something that's gray, it's very obvious that it's gray. So it's just a very light gray, no modeling on this. although a Halloween project seems like the perfect time to use fabric that has modeling. Okay, moving on to the quilting portion of the Flosstube. So if that's not your thing or you're not interested, adios. See you for Flosstube number 3 at the end of March. Okay, so at the beginning, I told you I had 2 goals for this year. 1, complete the Christmas cross-stitch stocking for my daughter. And number 2 is to make essentially a king-size quilt for my husband and I's bed. Because we have been married 7 years in May, and I made us his wedding gift. One of his wedding gifts for me was a queen-size quilt for our bed. But what I failed to take into consideration is the drape on the side of the mattress. So the quilt I made literally fits on the top of the mattress. So there's no way the 2 of us can get under there and cover both of us. So right now it's kind of sad. We were sleeping with the sheets, but then he has 2 or 3 quilts I've made, and then I have 2 quilts that I've made. None of them are large enough for our bed. So they're all throw size. So he's got 3, I've got 2. I'm constantly up. I swear once a night I wake up and one or both of the quilts are on the floor. So I'm fiddling around in the dark, you know, trying to grab it and then throw it back on and get it all situated so my feet aren't sticking out and I'm not cold. The dog sleeps at the end of our bed on the floor with a little mesh bed my husband made her. And she always ends up with one of his quilts, and the quilts are just sliding all over the place. So it is definitely not ideal. And then I did the laundry, the bed laundry 2 days ago, and it took like 3 loads because you got so many dang quilts you have to wash. So I am making us a quilt. And if you are into quilting, you may know the designer. If you're not into quilting, then you probably have no idea. But one of my absolute favorite designers is Carolyn Friedlander. And I have been collecting her fabric for quite a while. And her fabric and her design aesthetic tends to skew more towards, it almost reminds me of like 70s, because there's a lot of like burnt orange and gold and yellows and olive green colors and navies. So I've been collecting, and I have to keep in mind what matches our bedroom and kind of what could match our future bedroom aesthetic should we move. So right now in our master, all 4 of our walls are this dark foresty olive green. So the colors I'm using in our quilt are going to be various greens from various lines she's produced, and then various blues from her lines. I think the burnt oranges would look really great with the greens and the blues, but not necessarily in our bedroom. So I'm foregoing those for now. So I still actually have quite a stash of Carolyn Friedlander fabric, but I'll just have to make a lap size quilt. I had significantly more blues than I did greens. So I have taken the liberty to order some green Carolyn Friedlander fabrics from a couple different sites. So 2 of my orders came in. I'm still waiting for an order from the last shop. So I'm going to go ahead and show you kind of what I've got. So here they are all together. And I cannot tell you what line these fabrics are from. I know a couple of them, like I know these 2 are from her Jetty collection. But, I mean, besides that, I don't really know. So I'm just going to hold them up really quickly. This one, I don't know if you can tell, but those little lines are not white. They're actually silver, so there's some sheen in there. And we have this one. This one. And also keep in mind, when I picked the colors, it could not be obviously very feminine because it's not for just my bedroom, it's for our bedroom. This is a bright blue and I really like that. This fabric, actually, both of these fabrics, I had a layer cake of that line, and it was mostly blues and yellows. And after I had my daughter, I had a phenomenal nurse, which is the reason I wanted to go into nursing. And I made her a quilt out of those fabrics. This is like almost like a slate color. It's definitely a blue gray, but more gray than blue. My husband said I showed him all the fabrics I had last night, and he really likes this one. This one and this one are actually lawn fabrics. So if you are knowledgeable about fabrics or quilting or anything, lawn is thinner than cotton, which doesn't mean it's any less durable, but it's super, super soft. I just want to like pet it the whole time. And then the last two fabrics, we have this one. So this carries in some of that orange color. And this one. And my husband was really, really adamant. Oh, I should have got a picture of the quilt I'm going to make. Oh, well, next time. So my husband was pretty adamant that he wanted a dark background with these fabrics. I was like, ooh, I don't know. Like, I see this gray color. Basically, our entire house is painted, well, our entire first floor of the house is painted various shades of gray. Two different shades of gray. But our top floor, we saved all the color. My daughter's bedroom has like a forest green accent wall and then like khaki color walls. And the playroom is like a deep navy blue, the whole room. And then our bedroom, of course, is like the foresty olivey green. So anyway, because we have the green bedroom, and I thought like a gray like this would be nice, or like a medium to light toned gray, but he really, really, really wanted a dark background. So I said, fine, I'll just have to buy fabric for that. And I do need fabric because the background for the quilt that I'm making is like, I think the queen size calls for like 7 3/4 yards of fabric, but I want to make it a little bit bigger. So I went ahead and bought 9 yards of fabric. So I bought this. And I really like it. It's black, and it's a crosshatch design, and it is by, all I can tell you on the selvage is it says Sarah Golden for Andover Fabrics 2016. And you may have seen this around. It came with, or in the same collection, it had cat faces and dog faces on fabric, and then it had like a chartreuse, is that it? Chartreuse greenish yellow kind of color, and then a pink. And for Christmas, I got some like neon highlighter fabric. So I got some like pink fabric and some yellow fabric. And on my computer, excuse me, this looked neon. It's not neon. It's definitely more like a fuchsia color. So I'm thankful I only ordered half a yard. But I mean, I'll totally use it at some point, just not for my intended purpose. So anyway, back to this fabric. So, and it was on sale. So that was like a big pull the trigger, let's buy it kind of moment. And my husband wasn't really a fan, and I was like, nah, it's fine, just trust me. Well, I did tell him last night, I said, listen, you didn't realize you were right, but you were right. It just does not go with these fabrics because it's too busy. It doesn't read enough as a solid. I thought it would read much more black. And I even looked, or I thought those grids would be smaller. I even looked it up on Instagram. I searched hashtags. I found the fabric in a couple different places, and I thought it'd be good. But it won't work, which is kind of a bummer because I just bought 9 yards of it, and quilting fabric is not cheap. Even though it was on sale, it's still not inexpensive. But in the end, I do need backing fabric, and it was on sale, and it's black, so it'll go with the front of the quilt. So that's my plan for that. Even at 9 yards, it won't be enough backing, so I'll use scraps from the blue and the green fabric. And then I did end up buying the black Architectures fabric from Carolyn Friedlander, or by Carolyn Friedlander, for the actual background of the fabric. And I bought that. I'm going to have to look up the Etsy shop and link it below, because I bought that during nursing school class at like I don't know, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then at 11 o'clock, I got a notification that it shipped that same morning. So that's insane. Okay, so when I bought the black fabric, I took the opportunity to snoop around on the website, and I purchased some other goodie. Like, these are real goodies in the quilting world. If you're a fan of cotton and steel fabric, I will link the shop below. I believe it was Bee Handmade, B-E-E, and then handmade. But it was through their website, not through Etsy. I'm not sure if they have an Etsy store. So just Google Bee Handmade or check the description box below. But I absolutely love Christian Robinson. He is an illustrator. He does a lot of kids' books. But he designed a line of fabric called Spectacle for cotton and steel, and I hoarded it forever. And I finally made a quilt with it. And it's listed in my Etsy shop if you're interested in checking it out. All my quilts I've made are like right up there at the top of the closet. That's why I'm looking over there. Kind of want to keep it for my daughter or for a future kid. But anyway, so all that to say that there was 3 different types of fabrics from the Spectacle line on the Bee Handmade website, and I got 2 of them. The third one had a dark navy blue background, and I wasn't really interested in that. So here's one of them. You can see it has like the little lobster and the fox and the fish. It is just adorable. So when I made the quilt, I fussy cut these individual little pictures out, and it is just darling. And then, so that's like kind of a burnt sienna reddish color. And then this one is the same, but it's blue. And they have a couple of different pictures. So they still have the fish, but they have a bowl. They have some trees. There's an anchor, a cute little moon. Look at the moon smiling. Oh, and look, can you see the overalls? How darling are those? So I got those 2. And then I used these little sheeps from the Panorama line by Cotton and Steel in my sister's baby blanket, or my nephew's baby quilt that I made him. And I mean, it was hard to use them because I love them. They're adorable. But as for my nephew. But anyway, Bee Handmade had more. So I ordered half a yard of the blue sheep. And half a yard of the pink sheep. They are so stinking cute. I have no idea what I'm going to do with any of that fabric. Thus why I have a quilting fabric stash that I need to get through. But I mean, it is so hard to find those fabrics now. So if you are interested in those, or you've been looking, or you know somebody who's been looking, definitely check out Bee Handmade. Okay, and I believe the last thing I have to show you is the quilt. There's no way I'm going to be able to get it in frame here. So I will just show you kind of close-up detail shots of the quilting. So I do all my quilting on my Juki, which I got in April of 2019. I adore it. If you're in the market for a sewing machine, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. The only caveat is it only does straight stitching. So, and you can do like free motion and that kind of thing, but if you're looking for decorative stitches like zigzags or scallops or whatever, it doesn't have any of that. So for the quilting, I wanted something that was fast, and I don't really have the patience to like constantly be readjusting the fabric. Like if I was quilting squares, having to constantly turn the fabric. And it is a big quilt. Like I don't do baby size quilts in baby sizes because I want it to have some longevity. So I think of them more as like toddler quilts. So this one is quite large. I don't know, maybe like 48 by 60 roughly. So it's a good size quilt. But for the quilting, I did totally random lines, and you can see it on the back. I mean, I ended up having to draw them. My husband goes, I showed him, he goes, how did you get the line so straight? That's really good, babe. I was like, well, thanks, but I used a ruler. So you can see. So the quilting goes kind of all which way, but all straight lines. And then I wanted to add, I love hand quilting. I love the way it looks, but I don't have the, not that I don't have the patience, but for this quilt in particular, I just did not have the time between nursing school and having to have it done by now. So what I did was I hand quilted around the trapezoids and the quilt to kind of accentuate them. So and then you can see it a little bit better in the back. And some people don't like binding quilts. I actually like binding because I like to do the big stitch binding method where you just use a thick like pearl cotton and you do it so your stitches intentionally show up. And so I did that. So I used the same gray thread. Let me get my paper back. The same gray thread that I used to do the hand quilting on the quilt. It's not really showing up. But anyway, so it cut me off. But what I was saying is that usually I forget to sew the label on, or I remember to sew it on, but I remember after I've already stitched the binding to the quilt, so then I have to go rip it all and it's a pain in the butt, but which is the case here. But alas, it's on. It's adorable. So they're two-sided. One side says handmade with a little sewing machine. And then the other side says my name, Megan E.M. Jordan. So I got them from an Etsy seller here in Michigan, so I'll go ahead and link that below. And guys, if I say I'm going to link something and I forget it and you're interested in whatever it is that should have been linked, just leave me a message or a comment. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below and I will answer them. But so it's Friday at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when I'm making this video, and I'm not going to post it until probably Sunday because my mom, nobody except my dad, because he's picking me up at the airport, knows that I am actually flying into Louisiana tonight. They all think I'm flying in late Saturday night. And my mom and my grandmother and my sister are all at a quilt retreat with our local quilt group. And I haven't seen any of them in a super long time. And so my grand plan is, oh, I'm so excited. So my grand plan is to fly in tonight, sleep over at my parents' house, and then the retreat's only like half an hour from my parents' house. So I'm going to drive over in the early morning with my daughter, open the doors to like the mess hall area where all the sewing stations are set up, and just let her walk in by herself. And oh my goodness, I am so stinking excited. I cannot wait to see the reactions. Remember, nobody has seen, well, okay, I take that back. My mom and my sisters came up August, September this year. But besides that, nobody has seen her either A, ever, or B, since she was 3 months old, December of 2019. So, I mean, like, she's a whole new person. She's like a kid, like, walking, talking, sassy, fussy, you got my own opinions kind of kid. So I am so stinking excited. So I will either, if I remember to, my goal is to take a video of them kind of realizing, you know, what's going on or that we're here. So if I do, I'll either tack that on at the end of this video or add it as like a little special or something. But yeah, so fingers crossed, safe flight, happy and or sleeping toddler, and that people are nice, and maybe somebody helps me with my super heavy, like 35-pound car seat. But anyway, happy stitching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.